Hey everybody, it is SirWillow here, coming on briefly live with you just to talk about a few changes coming up to my Patreon account. I don't know how much live chat I'll be able to do with you this time because it's going to be pretty quick, but I am making some big changes to the way my Patreon account works, and I know I have a couple patrons who don't always get the messages, and some other people have thought about it, so I want to talk a little bit about the changes that are coming, why they're coming, how it's going to change, and what it might mean for you in whether you're supporting me or not. First off, the way my Patreon used to be set up is I used to actually charge people on a per video basis. So if somebody had signed on as a patron, they might say support me for $3 per video. And then I would bill them for, say, 7 videos a month, and then they would pay based on that. And you had an opportunity to set up a maximum amount per month if you wanted to, or however you want to do it. And it ran into some problems because let's just say it got confusing really quick because people weren't always sure how many videos they might be billed for. It was typically 6 or 7. It could change, or if they had a maximum amount, or if they had paid for more videos, would that move them up a tier? And so it really created a little bit of confusion for some people, even how much they were going to be paying per month. It also made it hard for me to figure out how much I would be earning per month for Patreon, because I would kind of have to account for everything that everybody was giving and try to figure it out. And Patreon would give me an estimate, but their estimate a lot of times was not real accurate. So it kind of made it unpredictable for both the patrons and me as far as how much money was going to be being paid and coming in. The other thing that it caused some confusion on was some of the benefits. I would have some people that would be on my lowest tier, for example, the $1 per video, and they would be paying for every video at $7. Well, I would then have other people that were 2 tiers up at the $5 per video, but they had set a max at $5. And so they're getting 2 extra tiers worth of benefits, while the people who are actually paying more were getting less benefits, which I don't know, that just bothered me, and I've been trying to figure out what to do. So I finally decided, with all the confusion and that kind of mismanaged mixing up and everything, that it was time to kind of ditch that whole system and hey, let's start a little bit fresh. So it is still the same Patreon site. There's still a link in the description to it, but instead of billing on a per video basis now it is going to be on a per month basis. So what this means is when you sign on as a new patron, or if you increase your pledge, you are going to immediately be billed and charged for what your pledge is. And then at the beginning of each month thereafter, you will then be charged for the pledge. It means if you have pledged $1, you're not going to be getting billed $1 per video. You're going to be billed $1. So for those who have been giving for multiple videos, for example, if somebody was pledged at $5 per video at a monthly maximum of 20, they're not going to be getting billed $20 a month anymore. They're going to be getting billed $5 because that is what their tier is. It's going to make it easier. You're going to look at it and say, hey, I have pledged $10 a month. I'm paying $10. Not, I'm paying $10 a month. How many videos am I paying for? Is that going to be $40 or $60 or what? It's a flat amount. So it's much easier for everybody to understand what they are paying each month. It does mean that there's going to be a few things that will change. A lot of people who are paying on a per video basis for multiple videos, the amount they're paying is going to come down because it's just the flat pledge now. It's not per video. So there are going to be some patrons who will probably want to change the tier that they are on. At least I hope so. It means that some of the benefits of the tiers have been slightly rearranged. I had an old lower level tier that has actually been eliminated. Patrons who are on that old tier can still stay on it, but you can't have anybody new join it. So my tiers now, which are suggested giving levels, are 1, 5, 10, 20, and 50. You can give any amount you want, set it, and then the benefits you're going to get are going to adjust. If you are a patron on an older tier and the benefits have changed a little bit, for example, the Google Hangouts used to be on the $5 tier, now they've moved to the $10 because it's on a per month, not per video. I will leave you with the old benefits. I do have track of who has those old benefits, so nobody's going to lose benefits. If you signed up expecting a certain benefit level, you will get to keep that. but it is going to, again, be monthly. So anybody signing up new is not going to get the old benefit level. They're going to get the new one. But for honestly, most of those benefits, it's actually going to cost less per month than if you're doing the monthly, the old per video deal. So it should be easier, much easier for everybody to understand. And let me actually show you what those benefits are. I do actually have them here on my Patreon page. So if you go to patreon.com/SirWillow, you will be greeted by something that looks a little bit like this, and it will say, hey, become a patron. And you can see how much I'm getting right now. Now, I have to be honest, I expected to take a hit with this, and when I changed it, that is about half of what I was getting before. Actually, it's a little under half. So, I'm hoping that will come up, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But you can see that I have a $1 tier, which will give you access to my patron feed, and there's certain things that only patrons can see on there. And I'll give you a shout out on a video. The $3 tier is the one that has disappeared. So if you come on and try to sign on now, you won't see this one here. That is kind of grandfathered in for old patrons. You can see that they actually get a quick preview, an early look at my Magic Kingdom vlog, which is coming up Monday, I believe. So there's another reason to be a patron. $5 or more per month, you receive access to the patron feed. Your name will actually go into my credits at the end of the videos and in my description. And I have a behind the scenes video that I have for that. $10 or more a month, I do a Google Hangout every couple months with my patrons, so you will get to partake in that at that level. $20 or more a month, you receive all above. I do have new channel pins I am working on with the SirWillow logo that will hopefully be here in a couple months. If you're paying $20 or more a month as a supporter, you'll get a free pin when I do get them. Plus, if you've got a YouTube channel or a website, I will give you a shout out and a credit for it. And if you're in the Branson area, I'll be happy to meet up with you at Silver Dollar City one day. And then a collaborator. Hey, you can actually do a collab with me, and I'm happy to work with you and see what we can work out that way. So that kind of gives you a little look at the tiers that are there. Again, this does change what some people are going to be paying, and most people are going to see less. If you are a current patron and you decide that you want to increase your pledge to come back up, or if you're a new patron, be aware you will now be billed immediately when you change that amount that you're paying, if you increase it. So for example, if you're an old patron and you were paying $5 a month, or $5 a video, it will now call it a $5 a month pledge. And let's say you want to bump it up to $20, it's going to immediately bill you that $15 difference between the 5 and the 20. So if you're thinking about increasing, you may want to wait till April 1st so you don't essentially get double billed, because it'll bill you again on the 1st of April. For a new patron, it's going to bill you right away. What it does mean, though, is a lot of times when I have patrons sign on, I would make them wait essentially until the next month before I gave them a shout out, because it wouldn't bill them for a month. But now, because it's being billed immediately, I'm going to get my shout outs out a lot quicker and more updates on that. So new patrons are going to get their credit a whole lot quicker and more access quicker as well. And I think that is most of what there is. Like I said, everything's cleaned up. It should be much easier to understand. I know I'm taking the hit, but honestly, I'm willing to do that to make this easier and clearer for everybody. One other change it is going to bring, when you do sign on to Patreon, it is going to ask you for a shipping address. And that was actually a lesson I kind of learned the wrong way recently with the postcards I did from Walt Disney World. I had a couple patrons that I did not have addresses for because it wasn't required before, and did not get those addresses to me. And I actually had one that was messaging asking where their postcard was, and I didn't have an address and no way to mail it to them. So this way I will now have an address that if I want to do extras like sending out postcards, I will now have a place to send them. So I hope everybody will put that in, at least something that I can send you mail. So that way, say October when I go to Disneyland, I will be able to send that in for you. Because I do actually hope to send in some postcards. So I'm just kind of double checking the questions here real quick. John Vidal, great plan. Take my money now, please. Hey, go to Patreon and sign up, and I will be happy to do that. So, but I hope that will make it easier for everybody to understand. I hope it makes it clearer for everybody to understand. I know that there's some people that have kind of thought about Patreon before and supporting me, but we're really kind of going, well, you know, this is confusing, and I don't understand the per video thing. And I hope this will make it much easier. So hopefully for all my current patrons, it's going to make it easier for them. For new patrons, it's definitely going to make it much easier. And hopefully my patrons that were giving multiple amounts, paying for multiple videos, I'm hoping that all of you will catch on and go, oh, look, I was giving SirWillow $30 a month, and now I'm only giving 10. I'm shorting him 20 bucks. So I'm hoping you will make up for that. Long run, I'm sure it will, and that will allow me to actually have more flexibility and able to do more. So that will hopefully cover all of that. So if anybody else has any questions, I'm just kind of double checking. Aaron, of course, in the chat, if you're reading that, has actually just posted a link to the Patreon page. Thank you so much for that, Aaron. I appreciate it. And hey, you're actually going to see Aaron coming up in a video here this next week with our day at Universal. So don't forget to harass him too. So thank you so much for everybody who has been supporting me. Thank you for those who want to support and just aren't able to, but you're sharing the videos and watching them and subscribed and all that. I can't tell you how much that means to me. It means huge amounts. So I'm excited about the changes. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. Looking forward to having a bunch of new looking forward to being able to talk correctly. But also very much looking forward to the new patrons joining up. There are some other exciting things coming up with it. I have to tell you, we talked a little bit this morning on the one patron chat I had about even adding some extra benefits. There's early previews that do come in right now for all the patrons, but we're also talking about doing some more behind-the-scenes things and other things like that. And thank you so much, Rick Rat. I really like that. I appreciate it. So, yes, Rick Rat posts exactly why I set the change. It was like $12 at $3 a video at $12 maximum, and much easier to figure out what you're giving now. And thank you so much, too, for that gift, Rick Rat. I really appreciate it. How much percent does Patreon take for themselves? Here's actually one of the things I like with Patreon. Patreon takes a 5% fee for them, plus the service charges. It comes out on average about 6.5% total that they end up taking out to run their business and pay the service charges. To give you a comparison, YouTube, when people give through YouTube, it actually takes out about 30 to 35%. About the only thing cheaper is PayPal, and yes, I do actually have a PayPal set up through my SirWillow at Gmail address. That one I don't think has any fees at all, but Patreon actually has a pretty good fee rate, and it's not anything that the people giving see. So it's one of the things I do really appreciate is we see almost all the money with just a little portion. So they're very good about that. So I hope that answers your question there, Mason. So that's all the changes coming. You've got a couple other little tidbits in there, surprises, which I really appreciate, and really excited about that. If you're looking for park tips and other questions, don't forget to send those questions to me on Facebook. That's actually the easiest way for me to answer those, because otherwise in a long video I end up rambling on about a bunch of other things. Thank you so much, everybody who's been watching. Thank you to all my supporters and patrons. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And hey, I'd like to be looking for some other exciting things to be coming through Patreon here pretty quick. Thank you so much and have an awesome, incredible weekend.